asked to see the charging setup that I have for my car. So let's take a closer look at it. Devin built this little roof thing to go over it to try to keep it dry, because apparently you're not supposed to get this wet. But whatever. This is just a regular RV plug. I can't see anything on the camera, so who knows if you can actually see it. But it's just a 1450 RV plug. It's in this waterproof box. Just kind of keeps itself put up. And then we mounted this is like an optional thing you can get off of Amazon that holds your cord. But let's go in and have a look. Starting on the other side of the wall from the plug, we've just run the wire up and around all the way over here to our power box. Very basic power box. This is rated for 100 amp service. We decided not to go with a 100 amp service. So we put a 60 amp main, as you can see. The Tesla charger runs on a 50 amp, and then 20 amp for everything else that runs the whole garage. Now, you'll notice that there are some wires. It's just a building. It's not a house. We're not looking to live in it. We're not looking to do anything like that. So, yeah, we're gonna have plug-ins, but whatever. So there's wires everywhere. Devin did a pretty good job at trying to tidy them up, but I didn't see any reason to really drill holes through the studs just to put wires in. So yeah. But there's the main box. So we've got a wire coming from the main service. It's on a 60 amp breaker as well. We use the 60 amp here as the main. This should shut everything off, as it did. The 50 amp goes to the car, and then, yeah. So let's talk about charging. Let's go to the car. On the charging screen here, we can look at the different charging rates. So it does have 32 amp available, 244 volt, and it's going to use a little now because I'm actually sitting in the car. So, you know, turn that heat on and all that. But the charging is complete. We're at 80%. So let's talk about the different charging rates. So originally, whenever I first brought the car home, I wanted to plug it into just the regular 110. We should go to the back to show this, and we can open it. I wanted to plug it into the regular 110, but right here where I intend to park the car, there was no 110 plug. At the time, we didn't have the building wired, so there was no power here. So I opted to buy a drop cord. Now I know they say you're not supposed to buy drop cords, but this is a 10 gauge, so it's rated for a whole lot more power than we were ever going to put through it. So I thought, let's just do it. So I ran the 10 gauge to an outdoor plug at my house, and the night that I plugged it in, you're supposed to be able to get 12 amp off of something like that. The night we plugged it in, I was only getting 9 amp, and I'm like, okay, well, I figure it's probably a loss because of the cord. So, whatever. We went with it. Later that night, that 12 amp or 9 amp dropped to 7 amp, and we were getting hardly anything. Now, the car always reports 1 kilowatt, and I'll show you how that works right here. On this charging screen, it reports how many kilowatt you're getting. So right now I'm getting 0 because it doesn't need any. But 1 kilowatt is kind of a vague number because it always reports 1 kilowatt, no matter if you're at 12 amp, 9 amp, or 7 amp. It's always going to say 1 kilowatt, which is impossible to know what you're really getting. So the best way to do that is go in here to somewhere, if I can remember where. Not there. It's probably display. Yep, right here. Distance. Now I don't use distance because I don't like it. I don't think that it's an accurate representation of what the car can actually do. And I understand it better when I see percentage. So anyway, with distance, you now have a mile per hour. And you can use this to accurately estimate what the car is actually getting per hour when you plug it in. On a regular 110, 12 amp, you're supposed to get 4 and 5 miles per hour, which is pretty slow still, but I mean, it's livable. You could make it happen. But whenever I plugged it into the 9 amp originally, it was getting 4 miles per hour, and I was thinking, okay, that's not too bad. And it would bounce between 3 and 4, so whatever. But when it did eventually drop to 7 amp, we were getting 2 miles per hour, which is almost nearly nothing. I took the car to a local public charger we have here, and I was able to get 27 miles per hour, or at the time it was about 30 amp. But let's go ahead and bump it up here. I'll have to hit the set limit button. I'm still learning. I'll learn this car eventually. Okay, well, I didn't really want it to go that high. That's probably good right there. And as you can see, it's starting to kick on now. 18 amp, 20. We are still running 240 volt. We're now at 28 miles per hour. And that's how it charges. 28, 29. So about 28 or 29 miles per hour on this new 50 amp plug. And it'll take about an hour and 5 minutes to get to whatever that limit is there. I don't need it to get there, but I do enjoy leaving it in energy, which is just percentage. It's a lot easier to control and manage what you're trying to do. So now we're getting 8 kilowatt. A lot easier to keep track, especially when you're driving. You may not really know how far you've got to go remaining, and so percentage is a lot easier to read. So that should eventually stop here in just a second because we're done. I lowered its limit back down. So while we're on the topic of charging, I'll pull out a few things here that I've got in the bag that came with the car. This is a J1772 to Tesla adapter. It comes with the car. And this can be used at almost any public charger. Most public chargers use this now. Our free public charger out here where I live is this. So, and maybe we'll go out there and plug in and just kind of show you how that works. And then this is completely optional, but this was like a thing on Etsy. I tried to paint it white. It looks like poop now. It's just a 3D printed piece of plastic that slips over this. And it does just like that, and it comes up here and over the little thing, as you can see. Public adapters, public chargers have a clip that comes right here and holds this on to their charger. And when this is slipped over it, it prevents their clip from opening up. You know what, I'm probably doing it wrong, but whatever. It prevents their clip from opening up and releasing, there we go, that's exactly how it goes. Releasing this adapter. Now, this adapter locks into the car, so it can't be stolen. The car won't allow that. This right here is locked in right now. You can't pull it out. You just can't. So this would not come out if anyone pulled on it. But what they could do is potentially unplug your car, especially if you're not at it. It just would stop charging. And so it's happened. It's annoying. So I bought the lock. And I've got another one on the way that's not painted because I'm picky. These two bags were completely optional and I bought them separate. This is an extra charger that I have available, and I just went ahead and put the extra 110 plug in here, so I have two. This is just so if I go somewhere on a vacation, on a trip somewhere, and need a charge, I don't have to pull mine off of the building here and unplug it, because technically you're not supposed to plug this in and out. You can wear those plugs out very easily. Not worth it. So I went and got another one of these. This is the actual original one that came with the car, so I did use it a little while, but I wanted to make sure it worked before I just put it away. And then in this one, I bought every plug adapter possible. So, you know, this is like I think this is a 650. Couldn't tell you. I really don't know what they all are. There's another, this one. This one is the 1550, whatever. The same thing I have over there. 1450. And then I've also got a few 20 amps, which just have the sideways plug. So if any place I stay has any of these, I have them now. So I did just want to point out that with this cord, After we installed all the plugs here in the building, I plugged it into a regular 110 outlet in the building, and we were able to pull 12 amp through this and the charger in the car here. So definitely a problem with the wiring in the house, but that's another project for another day. But that is the basic overview of charging with a Tesla. The 1450 plug is definitely the way to go. Even though this particular charger only pulls 32 amp, you can get another charger that pulls 40 amp, but it's really not worth it in my opinion, because these 32 amp chargers are $275 and the 40 amp charger is $500. It's a little much for what it is. So this is more than I need. Actually, I've took the car out and you know, did all my errands for the day, and I spent about maybe 16% battery, and I'm already charged back up about 2 hours, and it's charged up, ready to go. So the car is good to go. Can't see it because it's off, but that's that. Anyway, this is the short video of charging with the new Tesla, and I'll have some more stuff coming up later, so stay tuned.